the outstanding feature here is the bog, the third largest bog in the state. About 75, more or less, acres of that are Black Spruce Woodland Bog. It's not what people think about when they think about a bog. They mostly think of like a dwarf shrub bog. You'll notice there are shrubs here, but the predominant feature are the black spruce and the tamarack trees. Bogs are extremely nutrient-poor setting. It's hard to make a living here, if you will. Trees you see around you, they're all pretty small and spindly, but they're a lot older than they look. It can be very desiccating here, and you think, well, bogs are filled with water, but it can be a very dry place because it's open and exposed, and you see, like today, a sunny day, it really dries the vegetation out. The only water it receives is from precipitation, be it snow or rain. Closer to the road, where you get some runoff, it's a little more nutrient rich and you have more diversity of plants. And once you get into the middle of the bog, they just can't make it anymore. The other factor is the pH here is extremely low. It's very, very acidic. That's what's creating the bog. It's a combination of things, but mostly the low pH. Most bacteria can't really survive in that environment. So decomposition is almost non-existent. It's what creates the bog over thousands and thousands of years. Ground cover is almost completely sphagnum mosses. They secrete hydrogen ions. I mean, that's what lowers the pH. So they're essentially creating their own environment. It's a way of kind of kicking out the competition. The reason it's called wild raisin is the fruits, they get like a dark purple, almost black, and they get kind of shriveled, almost look like raisins. They don't taste like raisins, trust me on that. There's both large and small cranberry. The difference is the leaf size, and the fruits are pretty much identical. They look just like the cranberries you eat at Thanksgiving. In fact, that's what you are eating at Thanksgiving, except they're grown commercially. And the pitcher plant has these leaves that essentially form pitchers, and the plant gives off a fragrance that attracts insects, and the insects go in, and there's usually water in there so they can't fly out. And then there's these downward pointing hairs, so they can't really climb up the side of the pitcher, and they keep falling back down, and eventually they get digested by the plant. And it's not to get energy. It photosynthesizes just fine. What it needs is nitrogen. It's a very sought-after commodity here, and plants, as any gardener can tell you, need nitrogen. What we have here, this is the pink lady slipper, or the moccasin flower. It will release hundreds of thousands of seeds. Most seeds have endosperm, and that's a food source for the seed to use until it can germinate and produce leaves and start photosynthesizing. But orchids, as I said, parents don't put a lot of resources. They go more with numbers rather than, I guess, with quantity rather than quality of their offspring. You'll notice there's a very nice boardwalk here. And the reason for that is so that people can come out and experience the bog without doing harm to it. So we encourage people to come out and appreciate it, but not go off the boardwalk, because you can really do a lot of damage if you just tramp around it.